Hey everybody. There is somebody on YouTube. Her name is what is it? Just Pearly Things or Pearly Things, something like that. And this person on YouTube, and she's made she's made content on relationships and how women should act in marriage and all this other stuff. And my thing about some of these folks on YouTube is they'll always have advice for everybody else, but when you look into their past, it's just like you see a lot of sketchy stuff. And you ever notice how this what is it, Just Pearly Things, you ever notice how this person on YouTube, or this content creator, you ever notice that I've never seen any discussion, or I've never seen any photos of her dating a white man. Like, she's always, coming and collaborating with black, content creators and stuff like that. And, you never see her with, any photos of any white men that she's dated in the past. It's very interesting. And she's, white herself. I think in the past she's dated black men. I think right now she's dating a Dominican person right now, or maybe a black man, whatever he is. But it's just interesting to me that somebody who has a lot to say about black women and the black community and black people has never dated someone that looks like her. It's just very interesting to me. And you find this a lot on YouTube, where a lot of some of these folks, it's just like people are so gullible to listen to somebody who's maybe popular or somebody who's controversial, and they never sit up and do some research and say, well, wait a minute, am I getting information by somebody that is actually, living what they're talking about? And, I've seen her, she's trying to get into the whole, well, let me call out black people in the black community. But then a few years ago, she was making content and stuff and collaborating with black YouTubers to build her name up. So I guess now that her name's built up, all of a sudden she doesn't need, I guess, to work with, black content creators. And now it's just like, well, let me, do the whole, let me call out black people thing. And so I guess some people see that's the popular thing to do on the internet. But when you look into all these folks who have something to say about black people, a lot of them just, you do a little bit of research. You're like, well, wait a minute. You talk about black people, but in the black community and what black people need to do and what black men need to do. But that's all you've dated in the past. I think, I've heard her talk about, how black men are more violent and all this other stuff. Well, if black men are so violent and black men are so bad and all this other stuff, then why do you keep dating black men? Or why do you keep on collaborating with black male creators? And so, I think sometimes people come on the internet and they say, well, you know what, if I talk about race and I talk about something that's controversial, a lot of people will, follow me, or I'll get a lot of comments. And so now what I've noticed is, some of these folks, you really can't, trust them. Like, you have a lot of folks where they might not even believe certain things themselves, but it's just like, okay, well, talking about the sky is very popular, so you know what, I'm going to go out there and talk about the sky. I'm just using it as an example. And so, it's really corny that, everyone's trying to, especially right now, sound the same, talk about the same topics, and, she's doing that right now. It's like, well, okay, well, the dating and talking about, marriage thing, she's been exposed on that a little bit. Okay, let me switch the subject. Maybe I can get some fans by talking about black people. Like, that's, I guess, what her business model is right now. And the funny thing is, I looked at one panel she was on, and there's this YouTuber that showed up that, this one YouTuber claims, I'm not going to mention his name, but he claims that he wanted to debate Just Pearly Things. And every time, he shows up, she acts like, oh, well, I can't debate all of a sudden. And so, she picks and chooses who she, debates on certain topics. Like, she's not going to pick somebody that's a black person that can debate her. She's not going to pick a Dr. Umar Johnson. She's not going to pick people that can go toe to toe with her. She always picks, some of these random folks that are just going to get all loud and emotional. She's basically looking for a response. And so it's sort of corny, but at the end of the day, I just find it interesting that Just Pearly Things can talk about black men and black people, but you never see her with someone, you never see her in any relationship with a man from her own community. Like, isn't it sort of crazy that she's a white woman and you never see any photos on the internet of her in a relationship with a white man? So in the comment section, just let me know how you feel about Just Pearly Things. I think, she's doing a lot of stuff for clicks. I mean, even talking about things and stuff and trying to change her content and be someone who sort of put up a front and act and, be someone she's not. And so that's just my opinion. I know I'm rambling, but let me know how you feel about Just Pearly Things. And then also, it's amazing that, you have some men that, even women, that, listen to her advice. Like, for what reason? Like, she's somebody that, you're going to talk about marriage and all this stuff. She's not even married. So, it is what it is now. But I find it funny that you have a lot of these women that will give so much advice, and then, you do a little research and you're like, well, wait a minute, you're talking about marriage and you're not even married. So, you really got to do your research on people. But just let me know how you feel about Just Pearly Things in the comment section. Thank you.